restaurant has the world's tiniest elevator.
I think Christians is smaller.
Oh my gosh, you can't even fit in it.
Christians is smaller.
So small.
Don't do this all the time.
They're like little sardines packed together.
Yeah, and wait until you have 2 or 3 suitcases on top of it. That's a lot of fun. I know, and this, I have no room to put it. And this whole thing here, I'm gonna have to get a carpenter to come and build some shelves here. It's all broken, so she can't even access it. Oh, yeah.
I just got done having lunch with my mom. Went to this small little place, just kind of hole in the wall. But they had quiche. We were gonna take it to go, but then she told us that she can't warm them up if we take it to go. And quiche not warm is not the best. So we ate it there, which I'm actually glad we did because I ended up getting 3 quiches. They're just like slices of quiche, but I tried poireau lardon, which is leeks and bacon, and then I had there was a tarte au provincial, so it was like really good, you know, dark olives with zucchini, tomatoes, that. And then the last quiche was chèvre épinard, which is spinach and goat cheese, huge big goat cheese slices. That one was actually my favorite. That one was really good. So we just ate that, and it's like probably like 2:30 right now. My mom said at like 6:30 we have dinner with my aunt. She's a really good cook, so we'll see what she makes us. We're at this really gorgeous place right now. Super, super pretty. We actually are going to go shopping. It was my birthday last week, and my mom was already in France, and so she didn't get me a present, and so we're gonna go get me a present, which I'm excited about. But anyways, I think that's all I wanted to say now. I'm gonna go. Alright, as you guys have been seeing, my mom is in Paris with me, and I thought this would be a good moment. We just went and had lunch, we had some quiche. I thought it'd be a good moment just to talk about the difference between how French women view food versus American. Let's not even do a difference. Let's just say, how do the French approach food?
Oh, that's one word answer. That's an easy one. Pleasure.
Oh, I was just gonna say that. I was like, I know she's gonna say that.
It's
But
pleasure.
no, but it's important. That's
But
important.
it's pleasure, but it's also balance.
But there's balance and
no-
pleasure. That's the whole thing. When
It's
you're truly
balance and
listening to what's
pleasure.
pleasurable, you'll want a mixture of like meat and vegetables, and you know, salads and pastries, and like you'll want a mixture when you're listening to pleasure.
There's no forbidden things in the French diet. It's just about balancing it all. You can have it all.
But how do you feel like that translates into health versus like in America, you know, we see, and unfortunately we see here in the products here, but America especially, we see it as like guilt-free chocolate keto cup things, you know, and we see like we see all these just like low-fat, sugar-free stuff, and people think that that's automatically healthier, but here it's all like full-fat things.
The fact that somebody says, oh, you shouldn't, this is guilt-free chocolate, that is not even a concept we have in France. Why would we feel guilty about chocolate? It's just not even a concept. But the chocolate itself, there's no guilt associated with it or anything
There's no
else.
good food or bad food.
There's no good food and no bad
It's all
food.
understanding what works for you.
And lunch in courses. So you have the entree, which is the appetizer, or which is to open up your appetite, and that's like a salad or something small and more vegetables. Well, maybe not. It could be pâté. It could be anything. And then you have your main plat principal, which is your entree in English. And if you had something fishy for the appetizer, then you want something meaty for the main dish, or vice versa. You just balance it. And then you have your cheese and your dessert.
So you're saying they eat all these different courses. So you'll have some fish, you'll have some meat, and it's like we do the opposite in America. I feel like we're always cutting out things. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to cut out red meat. I'm going to cut out, like, dairy. I'm going to cut out all these things. And instead, the French see how important it is to have all of these nutrient dense.
French
Yeah, and I
works.
feel like it's overall when you do those type of meals where, you know, you're eating everything, then you make sure you kind of get your nutrients from everywhere, if that makes sense. Like
You don't even think about it. It just comes naturally. You don't have to think about it because you know you have a little bit of everything.
When you were little, you grew up here in Paris, right? Okay, how old were you when you left?
I was 16 the first time, but 18 when I left.
18 when you like
permanently.
really left.
Yeah, when I
okay,
really left.
so you grew up here in Paris eating very French food. What was the biggest difference you saw when you moved straight to Utah?
I remember going to a French restaurant in Utah, and the quiche was made with cheddar cheese. And I
Ew.
thought, nah, that's just not gonna cut it.
Well, so that lends to a different like side of the conversation, though, of like the French people really value quality.
Well, the French value quality, but you feel totally satisfied.
Amounts
Well,
all
I
the
think the
time.
biggest difference is the French don't analyze their food; they just enjoy it.
So, what is your favorite French food to eat then? What was like the first thing that you're like, ooh, I can't wait to come back?
Steak frites.
Steak frites. We had that the other night. Although
Yeah.
you got ribs, that was
I
super
got
good.
lamb.
The ribs
I didn't
was
get
that
steak.
lamb?
It was lamb.
Daniel, yeah.
I like chausson pomme,
I had that last night.
beef
So
castry
good.
with the real homemade applesauce.
Applesauce.
That's actually
I'll show a video here what it looks
dark.
like. So
It's
good.
not watery like the store-bought stuff.
So, Mama, what's the difference, would you say, between like the experience that Americans have with eating versus French people? For the most part, these are stereotypes, right? But like, how would a French person feel about eating dinner, and how does an American person usually go about eating dinner?
We take time, 2 hours for lunch. We take time to sit down and enjoy food with friends. It's a social thing. And it's not like, oh no, I should be working. It's like, no, that's why I worked for. So I can take time to enjoy a good meal with friends.
Yeah, they're very communal eaters. Very communal eaters. Late at night, the bistros here are just packed until
11
midnight.
p.m.,
Yeah, 11
midnight,
p.m.,
yeah.
midnight. That's when people go out with all of their friends.
Well, that's because
They
it's
eat.
summer and it's when it's not as hot and the light stays until 11
Yeah, but that's
o'clock
like that's
here.
what you do at night. It's like what you do at night is you spend hours with people eating. Yeah, but they do like to have their good sit-down dinner, and I think that helps with someone's relationship with food when you're eating with other people and it's more of an experience. Because I think a lot of people who struggle with EDs, they think too much about the food and they don't understand all the other aspects of the eating experience, which is sitting in the street, watching people, talking with your friends, getting out of the house. Like that's what's nourishing about the experience of eating out, not just like the food has nutrients in it.
You know, there's this Japanese girl on YouTube, Mary Kondo, that goes to people's home and cleans up all the junk and all that and reorganizes the home. And her technique is when you look at a piece of clothing and you look at it and you ask yourself, does this bring me joy? And if it doesn't, you say thank you and you put it away. You just give it away. And that's the same thing with food. It should bring you joy.
Yeah, so today, Mom, I walked into, because when I used to live here, I used to always go into the health food stores, Naturelier, Rendezvous avec la Nature, like all those places. I used to just walk in there and I would just like look at all the tofu sausages and things like that, and the soya, like the soy milk yogurts and things like that. So today, because I happened to walk by one, I actually like did a video of me going in there and I was just like looking at this food and seeing it now from the perspective of I eat really well and I like food to be tasty, unctuous, lots of butter, lots of things like that. I was just looking at this food and being like,
Cardboard.
zero, it's cardboard, like
Cardboard.
zero pleasure. Not even the packaging, the picture on the packaging can make it look good. I'm like, I don't want like a tofu macadamia nut like sausage. Like I just want like a real pork sausage with the fat in it. Like that's what's pleasure to me. And I look at the foods that I used to eat and I got reminded of it when I was in the grocery store. I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
it's so bad. And then I feel like there's a part of just like you eat really well as far as like tasty, yummy foods. And I feel like, I don't know, have you noticed that like my personality is more vibrant? Like I'm more vibrant of a person.
Well, you're not depriving yourself, and you're not over-analyzing, and you're not living in fear of food.
And you can feel that from
You know,
me.
you're
You can
living in
feel that from me.
enjoyment.
Yeah.
You're living in joy.
Yeah, I feel like when I used to be very like, very restricted, and I feel like that's because I was eating very restrictive, bland foods. It kind of switched my personality a lot.
Oh, it totally does.
Any last other words of advice for anyone suffering with their relationship with food? Think about how I was when I was like 15 years old. Like, what piece of advice would you give to them just from a motherly perspective here?
Well, don't give up. When it clicks, it clicks. And it's a sudden shift. It's not something that, you may have to work hard at it maybe for a while, but to change your habits. But it's really more changing your state of mind and going from a place of, instead of a place of fear, going to a place of love.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is, so you dealt with your own disordered relationship with food. I believe you dealt with bulimia, correct?
Anorexia, bulimia.
Okay, and you kind of clicked out of it, kind of like I clicked out of it. What do you feel like was the...
What was
these
interesting
things leading up to the click, but...
Well, what was interesting thing is what caused it for me was a divorce, my parents' divorce. But I was not aware of that. I had no clue that was connected to my problem, but it was that need for control in my life that I had. It's, psychologically complex. But once that need was gone, the bad habits stayed. And I was in a cycle, and I couldn't get myself out of it. And my roommates in college knew what I was doing, and they sat me and lovingly told me, "We love you, but we know what you're doing, and we cannot condone it, and we want to help you." And that, it clicked. That's all I needed. I need that little bit of love and support. And overnight, literally overnight, I remember the next morning eating some total cereal with milk, but I would have never done that before. I was always, I'd have a carrot for breakfast or something like that. So it was, to me, it was more, my focus had naturally shifted from that fear of food to I just want to be healthy, but in a balanced way. I don't want to overthink it. I just want to enjoy it. And surprisingly enough, it was a change in me.
Energetical shift. I talk about that all the time. Well, merci maman de parler avec tout le monde. Thank you, Mom, for speaking with everyone. Just a quick chat here, guys. If you are watching this and listening to, what my mom and I just talked about, and you're thinking to yourself, how do I get there? How do I have this perspective shift? How do I get that click that we were talking about? I've seen it with so many clients, that click, and I'm like, that's good stuff. If you're wondering how to get there and you're a little bit stuck and you're like, well, Chlo, this is great, you have food freedom. How on earth do I get that? Like, I want that. I see it's great. You're traveling, you're in France, you're doing all these things. How do I get that for myself? I'm like, that's a great question. It's a really great question. I'm glad you're asking those type of questions, because it is really important that we look at other people and be like, okay, you were once where I am right now, and you are now in a place where I want to be. What were the steps? How did you get there? What were the most important things to focus on? And this is why I do what I do, because I know it's so powerful to have that mentor guide you through this whole process. So if you are desiring to truly move forward with this and you resonate with my energy and you're like, I want to have this freedom that Chlo has, then I have 2 ways currently right now that you can work with me. There will be more to come. But right now, there is a one-on-one container where that's a very kind of personal space that I hold for just a certain amount of people, because it is very in-depth, it is very personal. And so the women that come into my one-on-one container, I spend a lot of time, a lot of energy thinking about them, a lot of time preparing what it is that we're going to help what it is that we're going to be really working on and processing through. So you can get that one-on-one attention from me, really learning the in and outs of how I did it. I give you all of my tools, all of my kind of downloads. Or you can join the Get Your Phone course, and that comes with the community aspect as well. And that's such a beautiful way to really go into depth everything that I teach in my one-on-one, but via these really beautiful, fun modules and lessons with all the journal exercises and my own specific recovery meditations. Like, have you ever been like, oh, I'm so anxious right now because I just ate something, and thinking to yourself like meditation would help, but also there's no meditation out there to really help with like I'm anxious about eating. Well, I created those meditations in the course because I understand that the girls coming into the course are going to be anxious about changing their diet and about doing new things or not exercising. And so I created recovery specific meditations in the course, and same with all the journal exercises. They're very in-depth, designed to help you rewire your relationship with food, with life, with body, all of that. And then you also get access to the community, which I'm in there 24/7. Literally spend more time, hear me out here, I spend more time on Vibely, which is where I host my community. I spend more time there than I do on any other social platform, whether that be for work or for personal use. I 1000%, like, I check Vibely all the time. It's the only social media, it's not social media, but you know what I mean? It's the only kind of like app that I have that actually gives me notifications, because I want to be present helping people in the moment that they need help. And that's what's so great about the community. And so those are the two ways that you can learn what I learned, and you can go through the steps that I took to get to where I am today. So let's continue on with our day in Paris. I am about to go shopping with my mom, so come follow along with us. Beautiful top. Yeah, my mom bought me a beautiful linen top. On est crevé.
On est crevé.
On est
C'est
crevé
très
maintenant.
fatigant.
It's
La vie est dure.
La vie est dure. Life is hard. We're very tired from shopping all day. We just walking by this bistro, and we decided to stop and get a drink. I didn't even look on what they got. But I remember past me would probably be so. I never let you stop. No, we're not getting anything. And I'm like, sure, let's get something.
Enjoy. It's enjoy.
Enjoy, but that's part of the Paris experience. It's part of the life experience. It's not just Paris. It's part of the life experience. Stop, enjoy, relax, rest. So food, it gives us the like opportunity to stop and relax.
And restore yourself.
Restore. Resto. Okay, we'll see what they have.
Partout, mais je crois qu'aux États-Unis, l'attitude générale vis-à-vis de la bouffe, c'est très différent d'ici.
I bought new shoes. Want to see my new shoes? They're fun. I like them. They're my new shoes. Look at those. Nice. Okay, we are almost there. We went and got a tarte, the pistache pois, so pear and pistachio. And then she gave us for free 2 little chocolate things, chocolate patisseries. That was super sweet, but I think it was closing. There was like hardly anything left. So we just grabbed whichever tart we needed to grab. Let's see here. You see it? This is the little tart. Nice. Don't drop it. All right.
Cosette, ils sont marrants. Et puis je vais rappeler ça.
Alright, so my aunt cooked for us. I remember the last time that I was over at her house, I was super picky about what she made. And I was like, I'm vegan, I'm gluten-free, I'm everything. And now I have no idea what she's about to put in front of me. So we had that tomato little starter, bunch of green beans, and then this is like calamari and mussels and a cream sauce, which was actually really good. And then we ended the night with our little tart. It was very delicious. We cut it in 4s, and so I got to have 2 pieces. But I dashed to go meet up with Marina and some friends that are in Paris right now, and we had a little, aperitif. We got some food and just enjoyed the night, and then we went out dancing until like I think it was about 4 a.m. It was about 4 a.m. when we went home. It was a really fun dance party right on the river in Paris.
Beignet courgette.